Right now, thousands of people are lying awake at night asking themselves the same question. Should I buy a home in Florida now, or should I wait? And honestly, the confusion is completely understandable. Depending on who you listen to, you'll hear completely opposite advice. Some experts are screaming that prices are about to crash and you'd be a fool to buy today. Others are warning that if you wait any longer, you'll be priced out forever. Your coworker who bought in 2021 is underwater and full of regret. Your neighbor who waited feels like a genius. Meanwhile, you're stuck in the middle, watching prices fluctuate, reading headlines that contradict each other, and feeling paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong decision. The truth is, there's no universal answer that applies to everyone. But by the end of this video, you'll have the clarity to make the right choice for your specific situation. Because the buy or wait question isn't really about the market, it's about you. Before we can talk about where things are headed, we need to understand how we got here. Because Florida's housing market over the past 5 years has been one of the wildest rides in American real estate history. When the pandemic hit in 2020, something unexpected happened. Instead of crashing, the housing market exploded. Remote work suddenly meant that millions of Americans could live anywhere they wanted. And where did they want to live? Somewhere warm with no state income tax and plenty of space? Florida checked every box. The migration was unlike anything the state had ever seen. People flooded in from New York, California, New Jersey, and Illinois, bringing big city salaries and big city expectations. They were willing to pay whatever it took to secure a home, and that mentality sent prices through the roof. In some Florida markets, home prices nearly doubled between 2020 and 2022. Places like Tampa saw increases of over 60%. Cape Coral, Naples, and Jacksonville all experienced bidding wars that pushed prices far beyond what local incomes could support. People were offering $50,000 over asking price, waiving inspections, doing whatever it took to win. It felt like the music would never stop. But then interest rates started climbing. The Federal Reserve, trying to combat inflation, began raising rates aggressively in 2022. Mortgage rates that had been sitting around 3% suddenly jumped to 6%, then 7%. The monthly payment on a $400,000 home nearly doubled. And just like that, the frenzy cooled. Buyers pulled back. Inventory started building. The correction had begun. So where do things stand right now? The answer depends heavily on which part of Florida you're looking at. South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, has remained surprisingly resilient. International buyers, particularly from Latin America, continue to pour money into these markets. Inventory is tighter, and prices have held relatively steady despite higher rates. Central Florida, including Orlando and Tampa, has seen more softening. Prices in some neighborhoods have dropped 10 to 15% from their peaks. Homes are sitting on the market longer. Sellers are offering concessions that would have been unthinkable 2 years ago, covering closing costs, buying down interest rates, and including furniture and appliances. The Gulf Coast is mixed. Areas like Sarasota and Naples remain expensive, but markets like Cape Coral and Port Charlotte have seen noticeable pullbacks. Overall, Florida's median home price has stabilized after the initial correction, but we're far from the insanity of 2021 and 2022. Now let's talk about the case for buying now, because there are legitimate reasons why waiting might cost you. First, inventory has increased significantly across most Florida markets. This is a big deal. During the peak frenzy, there was almost nothing available. Today, buyers actually have choices. You can take your time, view multiple properties, and negotiate. Sellers are no longer holding all the cards. That shift in leverage is meaningful, and it won't last forever. Second, if interest rates drop, which many economists expect to happen over the next year or two, buyer demand will surge again. Every time rates tick down, a new wave of buyers who were previously priced out suddenly qualify for mortgages. When that happens, competition heats up and prices rise. If you buy now, even at today's rates, you lock in a price before that potential surge. And here's the thing about interest rates, you can always refinance later. You cannot renegotiate the purchase price of your home after you've bought it. The saying in real estate is, marry the house, date the rate. A high rate is temporary if you refinance. An inflated purchase price is forever. Third, while you wait, you're still paying for housing. Rent in Florida has increased dramatically over the past few years and shows no signs of dropping significantly. Every rent check you write is money you'll never see again. When you own, even if your home doesn't appreciate much, you're building equity with every mortgage payment. After 5 years of renting at $2,000 a month, you've spent $120,000 with nothing to show for it. After 5 years of owning, even with interest and taxes, you've accumulated tens of thousands in equity. That math matters. But the case for waiting is equally compelling, and it starts with a problem that most people drastically underestimate: insurance. Florida is experiencing a full-blown insurance crisis, and it's getting worse, not better. Over the past few years, multiple major insurers have pulled out of the state entirely. They've looked at the hurricane risk, the litigation costs, and the claims data, and decided that writing policies in Florida simply isn't profitable. What does this mean for homeowners? Premiums have skyrocketed. A policy that cost $2,000 a year in 2020 might cost $6,000 or $8,000 today. In high-risk coastal areas, some homeowners are paying $15,000 to $20,000 annually just for coverage, and that's if they can find coverage at all. Many Floridians have been forced onto Citizens Insurance, the state-backed insurer of last resort. Citizens was never meant to be the primary insurer for this many people, and there are serious questions about whether it can handle a major catastrophic hurricane. If a Category 5 storm devastates Tampa Bay or the southeast coast, the financial fallout could be unprecedented. This insurance reality fundamentally changes the math of homeownership in Florida. A home that seems affordable based on its purchase price can quickly become a burden when you factor in insurance costs. Before buying anywhere in Florida, you absolutely must get insurance quotes and factor those numbers into your budget. Many people discover that their dream home is financially out of reach once insurance is included. Beyond insurance, there are other reasons why waiting might make sense. More inventory continues to hit the market as sellers who've been holding out finally accept that 2021 prices aren't coming back. Some sellers are facing financial pressure from adjustable rate mortgages that have reset to higher payments, or from investment properties that aren't generating the rental income they expected. This gradual increase in supply could continue to put downward pressure on prices, particularly in areas that overheated the most during the boom. Economic uncertainty adds another layer of risk. Job markets in Florida remain relatively strong, but nobody knows what the broader economy will look like in 12 or 18 months. A recession would likely push more distressed inventory onto the market and create better buying opportunities. If you're not in a rush and your rental situation is stable, waiting another year to see how things unfold isn't unreasonable. Then there are the wild cards that could change everything in ways nobody can predict. The Federal Reserve's decisions on interest rates will dramatically impact buyer demand. Another active hurricane season could devastate certain areas and send insurance costs even higher, while simultaneously flooding the market with damaged properties. Changes in remote work policies could shift migration patterns if companies start demanding that employees return to offices. Some of those pandemic migrants might head back north. And longer term, climate change and flood zone remapping could make certain coastal areas essentially uninsurable at any reasonable price. These aren't reasons to panic, but they are factors that add uncertainty to any decision. So who should buy now and who should wait? Let's get specific. You should seriously consider buying now if you plan to stay in the home for at least 7 to 10 years. That time horizon allows you to ride out short-term market fluctuations and benefit from long-term appreciation. You should buy if you found a home you love at a price that works within your budget after including insurance, taxes, and maintenance costs. You should buy if your income is stable and you have a solid emergency fund. Real estate rewards people who can weather unexpected expenses without panicking. You should consider waiting if you're uncertain about your job situation or your commitment to staying in Florida long-term. Selling a home within 2 or 3 years of purchase often means losing money to transaction costs even if prices hold steady. You should wait if the only way you can afford a home is by stretching your budget to its absolute maximum. Florida homeownership comes with surprise costs: a new roof after a hurricane, a special assessment from your HOA, an insurance premium that doubles. You need a financial cushion. You should also wait if you're expecting a significant life change in the next year or two. such as a job relocation, a growing family, or a shift in income. Buying a home that doesn't fit your future needs means you'll end up selling at the wrong time. Here's the honest truth that no one wants to hear. Nobody, not economists, not real estate agents, not YouTube creators, can tell you exactly what the Florida housing market will do over the next few years. Anyone who claims certainty is either lying or delusional. The market might drop another 10%. It might surge if rates fall. A major hurricane could reshape entire communities. Or things might just stay flat and boring for years. All of these outcomes are possible. What you can control is your own financial readiness, your timeline, and your risk tolerance. If you find a home you love at a price that genuinely works for your budget and lifestyle and you're prepared to hold it long term, buying now is reasonable. If you're feeling pressured, uncertain, or financially stretched, waiting is equally reasonable. The worst decision is buying out of fear. Fear of missing out, fear of prices going higher, fear of being left behind. That kind of emotional decision-making is how people end up in homes they can't afford, in neighborhoods they don't like, with monthly payments that keep them up at night. The Florida housing market will present opportunities whether you buy now or wait. The key is making sure you're financially and emotionally ready to act when the right opportunity appears. Because at the end of the day, the best time to buy a home isn't when the market is perfect, it's when you are.